Brooke from Teach Over the Rainbow, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make one of these pencil holder dispensers. These are actually straw dispensers, and when I was in the classroom, I had one of these that I got from the dollar store. It wasn't decorated or anything, but the kids really liked it because they could see the little prize pencils that I put in here. And so I've always wanted to make one of these, and now that I'm making tumblers, I haven't seen anybody do these, so I can coin myself that I was the first one to do it. So today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make them. Before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share. All the engagement helps. Everything that I'm going to be using today is going to be in the description box below. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and tape off the portions of our container that are going to be painted orange. On the bottom portion, I used a 2-inch painter's tape. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and put your cover on, because we're going to measure out a portion of the top of that container where there is going to be no glue, no glitter, no epoxy or anything, because if you do get any of that stuff in that section of the container, you won't be able to get your cover back on. So I'm using 1.5 inch painter's tape to mark out that portion, and then the portion that's clear and doesn't have anything on it, that's going to be my guide. That's going to be the portion that can't get anything on it, or like I said, you won't be able to get your cover back on. Once you have that guide tape on there, go ahead and fold it over, and then the portions that are going to be painted orange are now covered and protected, and your centerpiece can be spray painted white. We're going to do that in just a minute. All right, go ahead and grab your cover and unscrew the top portion. Just unscrewing that little top piece will come right off. I always take it and put it right back on that pole, because if you don't, you're very likely going to lose it because it's kind of small. Now we want to go ahead and tape off the inside of this cover so that when you're spray painting it, you don't get any spray paint on the center of it. And the best part about this is you're going to go ahead and take a piece of tape and you're going to fold it in the middle, just like I'm doing right here. And this is going to give you a little handle so that you can hold on to the top without touching the paint or glitter or whatever is going to be on there. And you can manipulate it and grab it really easy, just like that. The spray paint that I'm going to use is Color Shot Head in the Clouds. It's a matte spray paint. It's a really good spray paint. It's the only spray paint I use. It dries really fast. It doesn't drip, and it allows you to work with your projects within hours of spray painting. All right, now my project is dry. I'm going to go ahead and peel off the blue painter's tape from the top and the bottom, and these portions are the parts that are going to be painted orange. Once I have all that blue tape off, I need to go ahead and put my cover back on and put a piece of guide tape on there so that I know where to put the tape on the top, which is a portion we don't want any glue or glitter getting on, because if you do, you will not be able to get your cover back on. All right, so I'm putting this guide piece back on here. Again, that's the part that we don't want anything on. And then once I have that on, I can peel off this portion right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this white so that I don't get any orange spray paint on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and spray paint the bottom and the top portions orange. I'm using Color Shot Orange Slice to spray paint the top of my container. I'm using that little holder that I made with the tape. Quick, short bursts keep it from dripping. I haven't had this spray paint drip at all. Now I'm going ahead and spray painting the top portion and the bottom portion of my container. Quick, short bursts. And again, this is going to dry so fast. You're going to be super happy with the results of this spray paint. My paint has dried, and now we're moving on to the glitter. I use CCDIY's UV Resin to adhere my glitter for the first coats. I do this because I make these in bulk and I need my projects and the process to go faster. So that's why I use it instead of glitter glue. I don't have the luxury of waiting for glitter glue to dry. And make sure you get a nice good coat. Torch it, make sure your bubbles are out. Go ahead and put your glitter on there. This is Orange Crush. I'll link it in the description box below. Because you have that little handle with the tape, it makes it easy. Okay, so grab something now that you can stick in that little hole and make sure that it's not covered with resin or glue or anything, because it's gonna make it really difficult for you to stick that little pole back in there. And now we're gonna go ahead and pop this under our UV light for 2 minutes. And once it comes out, it'll be all cured and you can touch it, handle it, manipulate it, do anything you need to. We're gonna move on to the bottom and the top portions. We're gonna glitter this part and this part orange and keep this part covered because that's the part that's going to be glittered white, and we don't want to mess anything up with that portion. You also have to make sure that you leave that guide tape on the top because that's the part that you don't want glitter, glue, resin, anything on that part. But we're good to go and start putting our UV resin on the top and the bottom. Go ahead and get yourself a nice coat, torch it, glitter it, and then peel off the bottom portion of that blue tape because you do not want to put this under the UV light with that tape touching that resin because it will be extremely difficult to get that tape off. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this on our turner and turn our UV light on for 2 minutes and go ahead and cure that bottom portion. Once that's done, go ahead and pop it off the turner and then make sure you get that bottom portion to hit that UV light really good. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start on our top part, put your UV resin, glitter it, leave your tape on, torch it, add your glitter, and once you have a good coat of that glitter, you can go ahead and take off that blue tape that's on the white portion, and then you're gonna take off that masking tape that's on your guide portion that you do not want any glitter, glue, resin, or anything like that, like I've told you. All right, you can go ahead and pop this part onto the turner, turn on your UV light, let that cure for 2 minutes as well. Now that that orange portion is cured, I want to go ahead and seal in that glitter because when I put my white glitter on there, I don't want any to sprinkle in the white area because it's just going to look really sloppily done if you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and tape off those portions, put another coat of UV resin onto the orange portions so that I can seal in my glitter really good. And then I'm going to take this tape off and then pop it back under the UV light one more time so that I can seal in that orange glitter, as I said. Go ahead and cure each one of those sections for 2 minutes, and then we can move on to the white portion. I'm gonna go ahead and take blue tape once again and cover those orange portions because I don't want to get any resin or white glitter onto those sections. You can go ahead and apply your UV resin or glitter glue onto the white section. Make sure you get all those little spots right near that tape so that you're not missing any glitter on any of the white portion. Torch it and then put a nice, really good coat of that white glitter on there and then peel your tape off. Then you can pop it onto the turner and UV cure that white portion for 2 minutes. Once your orange and white sections are cured from your UV resin or your glitter glue, it has dried, however you want to apply it, then you're gonna need to go ahead and seal in your glitter with your regular resin. I use CC DIY's Artist Resin Medium Viscosity, 15 milliliters of part A, 15 milliliters of part B for 30 milliliters total because the container is rather large and you have to coat your cover as well. So you can go ahead and pop that on your turner. And then again, the most important part is putting that piece of guide tape on the top of the container because that is where your cover is gonna sit, and you don't want any glitter, glue, resin, or anything getting on that part because you will not be able to put your cover back on, and it's gonna make it extremely difficult to cut it or sand it or whatever you need to do in order to get the cover on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my resin on there. Everybody applies it different. This is just the way I apply it. Some people do their whole hand. I don't like to do that. I just like to use my finger. Once you have your container coated, you can move on to your cover, get a nice good coat on that cover, and then you can go ahead and peel your guide tape off from the top of your tumbler before your resin starts to cure because you are going to have a heap of trouble if you don't pull it off before. Now that you have your tape off, you can go ahead and torch your container and your cover for bubbles. Make sure you get all those bubbles out so that it's nice and smooth. Go back in with whatever tool you used earlier to make sure the cover hole is not plugged with resin. While that cures, we're gonna go ahead and create our stickers that we put on our container. I use the Cricut Printable Vinyl, I'll link it in the bio. And then I use the Color Shot Gloss Sealer. I really like the sealer. It seals super fast, it doesn't drip, it doesn't mess up your ink. You wanna make sure that you seal your printable vinyl because if you don't, when you go ahead and put your resin on there, the ink can spread and it's gonna look really bad if you don't do this. I only use one coat and it seems to do the trick. Our resin has cured. I have one coat of the CCDIY medium viscosity resin, and then I did a second coat of the CCDIY facet. So it's nice and smooth, there's no bumps, and we can go ahead and put on our stickers. Before you do that, go ahead and take a blade and clean the top of the cover just like you would a tumbler before you send it out to your customers. You can also use a cotton pad or a cotton ball with alcohol and just clean it up. Make sure that it's nice and neat before you ship it out. Now that our container is cured, we can go ahead and apply our stickers. These stickers can be found on my website under Crafters Collections. I'll link it in the description. The vinyl is pretty forgiving, so if you put it on there crooked, you can take it off and adjust it. I just would, however, take your time, making sure that it's nice and straight so that your customers are happy with their product. And then once you see that it's straight, you can go ahead and push it down and get all your bubbles out. I put mine about halfway between the orange and the white so that it's kind of in the middle. And then you can move on to your next sticker. The next sticker is the one that goes right there in the center of the white. And if you look at the Elmer's glue stick, that black portion of that sticker is angled. So I kind of put mine right there in the middle of that white section at an angle, centered on the sticker that's on the top. Go ahead and find yourself a good spot and then push your air bubbles out because the name is going to go in that orange spot at the bottom. So you don't want to put anything there. The last thing you're going to do is go ahead and put another coat of medium viscosity resin on here and make sure you put that guide tape on there before you put your resin on there, and then peel that guide tape off just like we did before the resin cures. So go ahead and put your name on the bottom and then put your last coat of resin on there. Our last coat of CCDIY medium viscosity resin has cured, and as you can see, it's nice and smooth and everything is sealed. We're going to go ahead and take our cover and put it back on the pole, put that screw back on there, and then make sure that that cover is level because sometimes it can get a little bit wonky on that pole, and then assemble it and you are all done. Alrighty friends, I hope that tutorial helped. If you have any questions or if you're unsure about anything, make sure you comment below. Again, everything that I used today in this tutorial can be found in the description box. Thanks for joining.